there is a woodruff key just in here. I don't know if it's orientated at all. Maybe it doesn't want to come out. Maybe some things are best left alone. The danger is though that it pings off and gets lost, and I really don't want that to happen. It's showing no signs of just dropping out right now, so I'll leave it for the time being. The next part of the process I think is going to be the removal of the cam chain tensioner. It's quite a complicated system on this one. You have a guide that locks into this screw thread that goes up and down. We have the main tension arm, which is showing signs of wear. I don't know if that's normal, I guess it is fairly normal. And then you have this piece inside. I'll just take off the lock nut. Like so. And I'm guessing that this whole thing screws downward. They can't come upwards, surely. Maybe it does. Ah, there's different thread pitch, which means that I have to actually remove a circlip and a couple of washers before I can do that. Interesting. Okay, so again, I don't know if in gasket sets you get a new seal, but there's an oil seal here. The threads are different pitches. This is the one that actually engages with something, and this one is for the lock nut, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to reassemble all the bits and pieces on there in the order they came off, which was 2 washers, like so, and then the bit I'm bound to lose is the C-clip, which goes on the end here. There we go. So what happens in operation, for a boring lesson, is that when that's in there, the 2 washers are pulled apart and that little fork is inserted into it, and as you wind it up or down it tensions the cam tensioner. So yeah, it's quite sophisticated compared to the spring-loaded system on the XL, but I guess it's fairly bulletproof as long as you don't lose any of the bits. There's a little bracket under here with a 10mm on. I think its job is just to act as a bit of a chain guide at the bottom, or to hold the chain in place against the rear bottom sprocket. I'm not entirely sure what its function is, but there it is. I've been wondering what that was for, and it looks like it's a clutch adjuster. There's no mention of it in the manual, which is interesting. Bit of rag in the drivetrain. Nope. 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 Right. Good job I've got these JIS impact bits. They are proving to be quite useful. Jeez, don't fuck this up. But I might use the impact wrench on it. Right, this is either going to work or fuck it up. Nope, it fucked it up. Great. That is going to cause an issue. You'd think these bastards would come out, wouldn't you? I mean, they've been sat in oil for long enough. Am I missing something? I don't think so, because this one I got loose without too much of an effort. Try a different bit and see if that makes any difference. Okay, I'm in a bit of a situation at the moment. These 3 screws have to come out in order to get this cover off, in order to undo the nut that takes this whole oil filter off. The first screw I managed to get out. That wasn't too much of an issue, and although I have a JIS bit, when I used the impact driver on this one, it just rounded it out. Too much power. But then I've used other methods on this one to try and free up this steel screw in this aluminium housing, and this will not move, and I'm very close to rounding that one out as well. So I'm a bit of a dilemma as to what to do now. I'm thinking possibly of applying a bit of local heat underneath here to see if I can get the aluminium to expand slightly and maybe break the seal on it. As far as I can tell, it's the lower portion that is threaded and the upper portion is just dished to take it. It's going to be difficult whatever happens. The only danger is if I apply too much heat, there's always a danger that I'm going to warp this piece. So I'm going to see if I've got a gentle heat gun that I can just get in underneath there and take it from there without setting fire to everything. So applying heat has worked. It's loosened this one up, but I've still got the issue of the gnarled up one. So I'm going to have a look at that one in a minute, see if maybe I can gently cut a slot in it and use a flathead. So I think I've got every tool on the workbench out now. I've cut a slot in this flathead here, which is enough to take an impact driver, I hope. I may just work it a little bit more. And hopefully with the application of heat and the impact driver we can get this to move. I'm going to have to be exceedingly careful though, because there's not a lot of material to work with. I may just take a bit more off here. This side is okay, this side, no, it might be okay. I'll give it a go, see what happens. Okay, on take 2 on this one, I cut a slightly wider slot and we got it. Unfortunately I did mark with the Dremel tool the aluminium, which I was trying to avoid, but okay, sorry about that classic bodging, but it does go to show that sometimes, despite the fact I beat myself up for buying tools all the time, they sometimes rescue you. Things like the Dremel tool are essential, and that impact driver has been a godsend on more than a few occasions. I don't buy tools speculatively, but I generally, when I need them, I buy them. Okay, what do we got here? A gasket, a melted gasket. Actually, it's fibrous, so it's not melted. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if you can see that, but the quill itself, this is where the oil feed gets pumped out into the galleries. That is spring loaded and held in with a little what do we used to call those, like clips you use on model car bodies. Crocodile clip. Nope, it's got a name. I can't remember what it is at this point. Interesting. Don't see where the oil feeds in there though, unless it goes down the side of the clip. Very interesting. So this is the centrifugal oil filter. and what it does is as it spins, any solid material gets flung out to the edges. I think this is part of the service schedule to clean this out from time to time, but I suspect given the low mileage of this bike it's probably never been done. Yeah, there's some real sticky mess in there, so all that will need cleaning out. Very nice. At least you know it's doing its job. Right, the next job is to get this out, and I think I have to fabricate a tool for that, having just gone on about having the right tool. There is a piece of kit that is needed. Yeah, there's a piece of kit that you have to either fabricate or buy, which has lugs on a pipe that allows you to rotate it, a bit like a box spanner but with teeth that go forward. So I'm going to have a think about how I'm going to get around that one. That might be as far as I can go today, seeing as I've pretty much had enough now. I think I might call that quits.